Hi, I'm Kelly Tanky.
And I'm Joe Kirk.
Tune in to AM 950's newest show, Searching for Service, a show designed to help current and future Rotarians find purpose through service.
We are dedicated to sharing stories, experiences, and opportunities for those searching for purpose, value, and meaning.
But more importantly, connection through community. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. or anytime via podcasts.
It's time to stop searching and start serving.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
New at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Kuma wood stoves and fireplace inserts. American-made, sturdy and efficient wood heaters. All models qualify for 30% tax credit you can earn for installing efficient and renewable wood heat. Come see the new wood-burning Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has been selling wood-burning products since 1977. Kuma wood burners are hard-working home heaters made from heavy, laser-cut steel. Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts have cast iron doors and large self-cleaning glass windows. You can see the firelight and feel the heat from their efficient fire. One of Woodland's many choices to make fire work for you and your home.
We're with the chimney and installation experts. They not only install, but will guide you if you want to install yourself. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and storms possible tonight with a low of 62, and showers and storms possible again Friday with a high of 76. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina city line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You're absolutely right, Dega, and this portion of the show is supported by Minnesota 350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Hey, up today we have Ruth Buffalo, former North Dakota House Rep, and also Destiny Jones, who's Ho-Chunk. So, Haley, it's been Ho-Chunk week. I think this is our fifth Ho-Chunk, and
it is,
and that's awesome. And she works for a Native American Community Development Institute and works on the Four Sisters market, and I go there every Thursday when they open up, and it's a great place to see things, to buy things, to have it's a market where there's swag there. There's things like food, from the Four Sisters market, and so I'm really excited about that. And we're still celebrating here in Minnesota Native Heritage Month here, and it's been really a whirlwind with all the things that have been happening in a good way. I was just at the Capitol yesterday. many things going on. So we have former state Representative Ruth Buffalo on, and we're really excited to have Ruth on. Ruth, thank you so much for coming on and all the work you've been doing and you are doing. You're just a true warrior, and I really appreciate you stopping in and talking to our audience out here.
Yeah, thank you. Madzigadads, thank you for having me.
Hey, Ruth, we got a couple things we need to talk about, and one of them is the work you're doing with Not Invisible Act Commission. What's happening with that? And what can you tell all our listening audience about that?
Sure. So the Not Invisible Act is hosting a series of field hearings across and throughout Indian country. And so I'm actually on my way back from the Flagstaff hearings. We had 2 days of hearings in the Twin Arrows Casino and Resort. And so we will be headed to Minneapolis, and that will be June 6th through the 8th. I believe the hearings will be held in St. Paul at the Hilton there. And so we welcome everybody to sign up, get registered, and please show up and provide your story of your missing and murdered loved one. So we really want to hear from the community members.
Wow, that's exciting, and it'll be downtown St. Paul, and it'll be a stone's throw from my house. So I'll have to. I think I'm coming down there as a Ho-Chunk representative, and I think there's many Ho-Chunks coming in town for that. So that's a good thing, and it'll be always good to see you, Ruth.
Yeah, thank you. There will not be a field hearing in the Dakotas, either in North Dakota or South Dakota. So we're really encouraging people to show up either to the Minneapolis hearing or to the Billings, Montana hearing. There will be a Great Lakes panel as well. So there are relatives coming from Wisconsin. And so we're just hoping that we have a good turnout. The end goal for these field hearings is that we will, as commissioners, compile all of this information and provide a report to the Department of Interior, Department of Justice, and Congress for recommendations on how to best tackle the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous persons.
Wow, and we just had that day of at the Capitol this past May 5th, and it's always a somber gathering. It's good to see our relatives, but it's also a huge reminder of our relatives missing. And being on Facebook, Ruth, I see it all the time still, constantly. Our Native brothers and sisters disappearing for days, and it's just heartbreaking.
Definitely. These hearings have been intense, emotional and heavy, as they should be, because we are hearing from individuals, families, and communities who have been directly impacted. The commission is comprised of a broad coalition of federal employees and non-federal commissioners. It's the broadest coalition or commission in the federal government's history. There's definitely a lot of pressure for us to deliver because many people are putting their hope and trust in us by traveling, making the time to travel and to share their stories. And for many, it's their first time sharing their story of being harmed and of wanting to find justice and accountability.
Wow. Again, it's you and you and your group amplifying this is so important. And it's just one of the things that I heard a few years ago, Ruth, that really surprised me is up in Lake Superior, how many people get taken away on those boats. It just blew my mind. I never even thought of it being a St. Paul kid, blah blah blah. But I've heard these stories of people escaping, people getting thrown over these boats from all these foreign countries coming into the harbor up there. It's just unbelievable. It's a story that needs to be told.
Definitely, and it's there are no words really to explain the the seriousness of this issue, the sense of urgency that we're in, and what every single community faces in their respective geographic location. As you mentioned, the large ships next to the Great Lakes area. I'm from Fort Berthold Indian Reservation, and the Bakken oil formation is located directly beneath us. And so we're constantly being inundated with semi-truck traffic, oil-filled workers, and constant visitors, from coming in and outside of our tribal land borders. But one thing that we heard directly from individuals while we were in Flagstaff, Arizona, these past couple days is the predatory behavior that is happening in Phoenix with these quote unquote sober living homes that are targeting our Native American relatives who are trying to find ways of becoming sober and staying in recovery. So that is something that we haven't seen yet hit national news. We have seen a couple articles that we've shared online, but we know that locally within the state legislature of Arizona, they are working to address this issue. So lots to unpack there as usual, and so much work that needs to be done. And again, we need to really, come together and support one another because, it just racks my mind that the federal government or the powers that be have not called for a state of emergency yet for our missing and murdered Indigenous persons crisis. Predators are going to continue to prey upon our people because they quite frankly think nothing is going to happen. We don't get ample media coverage. So again, thank you for bringing this issue to light, because it is a very dire, it's just it's a huge sense of urgency. We're in dire need of change, and we just have to continue plugging away at this and staying together. So Matsugedads, thank you.
No, really, and thank you for amplifying it, Ruth. We're going to take a break here soon. We're with former state representative of North Dakota, Ruth Buffalo, one of my heroes and one of my heroes since I've been doing the radio. And I always appreciate when Ruth can spend some time with us. And next segment, Ruth, let's talk a little bit about Leonard and what's happening and maybe an update on that.
Sure.
All right. She's shaking her head. Yes, this is radio. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk to Ruth about Leonard Peltier and updates on that. We'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Stay with us.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Students at participating Twin Cities high schools can get a summer's worth of rides on buses and light rail for just $30 with a summer student pass. From June 1st through September 5th, students can get unlimited rides on buses and trains up to a $3.25 fare. For a list of participating schools and to purchase a pass, visit metrotransit.org/summer-student-pass. Again, that's metrotransit.org/summer-student-pass.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Life is a journey, and the Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas will help you get where you want to go. Located in downtown Minneapolis, this affordable 2-year college provides free textbooks, a laptop, meals, career coaches, and a Metro Transit pass, making DFC the perfect pathway to a bachelor's degree. Turn your dreams into reality at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas. Apply today at dfc.stthomas.edu.
is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1 U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we're here with former State Representative Ruth Buffalo of North Dakota. And Ruth, you were really busy as a representative, but you are really busy all over the country, it seems like. And really appreciate you stopping in. And I've seen some updates. Could you fill us in with what's happening with Leonard Peltier and how our listening audience can help?
Yes. So, I hear from Leonard almost daily if he is not in lockdown. And so he has asked for a restructuring and a change in leadership in a new direction. He, is 78 years old and he wants to be free. And so he has asked me to lead this new committee. And so we have social, media platforms at I Am Peltier. And we also have a new website called iampeltier.com. And so we are still focusing on his release and his freedom. So that's a little bit of an update at this time.
Yeah, I heard a recording of him just recently. It was sent to me in my email that all his efforts should be funneled through that iampeltier.com, correct?
Correct. Yes, he has asked for, a new direction and wants us to do things a little bit differently. And so we are tasked with that, and we are still focused on his release and his freedom. And they have been going into lockdown quite a bit. So he says, I will try to call you every day and give updates and vice versa. But if I don't hear from him every day, then we know that he's in a lockdown. Lockdowns have been very prevalent for a number of reasons, including short staff within Coleman 1, which is a federal maximum security prison. So we definitely need to continue doing everything we can from within our reach, within our networks, encouraging people to call President Biden, Congress, even write to Leonard. He needs to hear from everybody, and he needs that love and support.
Yes, I was blessed to talk to him one time that he called me, and it floored me. And it's he's still really sharp in his mind, and and he's 78 years old, and we still. It would be so huge for the Native community if we could get him out. But also, first things first, what the heck he's in maximum security? That's just insane.
It is. It's inhumane. He is an elder. He has been behind bars for over half of his life. We know that these are some grave constitutional violations. It is inhumane for the simple fact that he remains in prison, and then on top of that, in a federal maximum security prison. I've been able to visit with him a couple times over New Year's Eve weekend, and then at the end of January, and he is a very frail, elderly man who deserves justice and deserves to be with his people in the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians area in North Dakota.
Yeah, definitely. It's just how much longer? I mean, we have people that killed John Lennon and shot President Reagan that are out of prison now. I mean, this is just news has come out that they're making an example of him, and it's just ridiculous. The FBI works in a shameful way when it comes to this, and it's been going on for way too long.
Definitely need some compassionate conversations with the powers that be within FBI. We see, very stark disparities within the MMIW, MMIP, MMIR crisis, which calls to question what's really going on here. We are the first peoples of these lands, and we deserve to be treated as such, but yet we are still at the bottom of the barrel, receiving crumbs and funding and resources. our men are being incarcerated, our protectors, and then women are forced to step up and be in the front, and it's just it's a travesty, quite honestly, that we as women, we come from matrilineal people, as Indigenous people, have to step out in front and try to defend our elder men, our elders, and for future generations. I've been hearing a lot from young Native men in different prisons across the United States, and they're sharing their concerns and also offering up encouragement to keep standing strong for Leonard, because he is a symbol for them and represents them as well. So it's just it's heartbreaking, it's heavy, but we need to continue to do what we can to help everybody, live a good, healthy, strong life that they deserve. We deserve a good, healthy, strong life like everybody else.
Right, and exactly. Wow, Ruth, really appreciate you coming in. I want to give you a couple more minutes here before you have to go, and just speak your truth, and maybe make a plea again to write to Leonard, and to do these things, because we forget, because he's been in there so long, that he is a human being, and he's still alive, and he's not 40 years old anymore. It's just been going on way too long.
Yeah, so please, everybody, to do what you can from within your reach. Stay focused on the task at hand. The end goal is to get Leonard free. We want to see him walk out of Coleman 1, federal maximum security. He is very elderly. He's in poor health. He needs specialized medical attention. The fact that he remains in there is beyond devastating. Time is of the essence, and every day that goes by, it's just he should not be in there. And so I just ask for everybody to continue to stay vigilant, stay together, support one another, support Leonard's wishes, and let's come together. We're all Native people. We are all people who want the same thing, which is justice for Leonard, and he needs to be back in North Dakota, simply put. So.
Exactly. I'm going to just read what Lori has to say. Ruth Ann and Robert, your strong voices are so appreciated as these issues change lives. Heartbreaking, hard work, blessings to all. Definitely blessings to you, Ruth. You're a doer, and I always have been looked up to you ever since I saw that picture of you when you won the election in your regalia. It was just powerful words, powerful person. Thank you so much for coming on.
Manzagadods, I appreciate everything you're doing and for giving us this platform to share a few words on the issues that matter most to us.
Wow, thanks a lot. Former state representative of North Dakota, Ruth Buffalo. Thanks for stopping in, and I know your busy schedule. Wow, amazing. There's a book out there that came out in the 80s that was called In the Spirit of Crazy Horse, and it's by Peter Matheson, and it's really it's about on a hot June morning in 1975, a fatal shootout took place between the FBI agents and the American Indians on a remote property near Wounded Knee, South Dakota. 4 members of the American Indian movement were incited to murder charges for the death of 2 federal agents that were killed that day. Leonard Peltier, the only one to be convicted, is now serving consecutive life sentences in federal prison. That this book is behind the violent chain of events that, lies, issues, great complexity, profound historical things in this book that were written. It's a controversial book, and it's a book that talks about our Native history. It talks about what led up to this, talks about the American Indian movement, talks about anime. It talks about all the big setup here. Why is Leonard still in there? And the 3 other that were supposedly murderers too have been out and made a deal with the FBI. He has always said that he is innocent, and we've just heard, that that an FBI agent out of Minneapolis that had been there for 40 some years say that this is the culture of the FBI. It's one of the first things when you become a FBI agent, young FBI agent. Now you get indoctrinated with it. You get shown all these things saying that this person, Leonard Peltier, will never be out, and they give you all this wrong, fake. What do I want to say? Things that information about Leonard that's so untrue. So it's good to have Ruth on and talk about this, and then she's talked to Leonard recently, and she talks to him often, and it's just one of those things. It would be if he was ever released, which we still hope for. It'd be like Nelson Mandela being released in Indian country, and that's how important this is. He is, and the work Ruth Buffalo does, and the people that work with her. So we have always are so appreciative when Ruth Buffalo stops in. So we got the rest of the show to go here. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and up next, we're going to have Destiny Jones, who's Ho-Chunk. Ho-wah. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
When it comes to mental health, making connections with others can be a way forward. How do you reach out when you need someone? What do to support those who struggle? Connections can bring comfort, hope, and joy. Find ways that work for yourself and others, like sending a text, sharing a moment, offering a hug, seeing an old friend, creating space to listen. Visit cmentalhealth.org. That's cmentalhealth.org. cmentalhealth.org. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
Next Chapter Booksellers is the perfect gift idea for mom this Mother's Day. Whether she loves bestsellers or hidden gems, the friendly staff at Next Chapter Booksellers offers personalized book recommendations for any taste. Add a little something special to your gift with their beautiful cards. Plus, they sell a wide variety of puzzles and games. So skip the flowers and the chocolates this Mother's Day and give the mom in your life a gift that lasts from Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Hey, Ogama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Our station is located on a marsh, and we do our best not to disturb that environment. So I was thrilled to discover Natural Lawn. Their safer products and soil tests ensure that your lawn will be healthy, lush, and green. I don't even have to worry about bringing my furry friend to the station, thanks to the great care from Natural Lawn. I highly recommend Natural Lawn to keep your lawn beautiful, healthy, without compromising safety and sustainability. More at naturalawn.com.
2023 is here, and you can make it the year of the Eagle with the National Eagle Center. You and your family can enjoy exciting Eagle experiences, including field trips, private habitat tours, and exclusive behind-the-scenes tours. Meet live eagles up close, view bald eagles and golden eagles in the wild, and receive personal one-on-one education with dedicated and knowledgeable Eagle experts as you journey into the world of eagles like never before. Learn more and plan your unforgettable Eagle experience today at nationaleaglecenter.org/experiences.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Plulia. Showers and storms possible tonight with a low of 62, and showers and storms possible again Friday with a high of 76. Jazz and cabaret legend Marilyn May appears for 6 shows to celebrate Mother's Day and her 95th birthday at Crooner Supper Club. Shows are May 11th through 14th and make a perfect Mother's Day gift. Tickets and more at croonersloungemn.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Native American Community Development Institute in Minneapolis.
Hey, welcome back. And we have Haley, we have really smart people that listen to the show, and we are corrected. Mark David Chapman is still in prison, and he was just moved to Greenhaven Correctional Facility in Beacon, New York, in Dutchess County. So great listeners, and thank you for the correction. I lost my mind for a little bit, but it's good that I'm not spending out any fake news here over the airwaves. But Pinagigi to the listener that reached out to and said, Robert, what's up? Get your facts straight. So I'm getting my facts straight. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, so we're here with Destiny Jones, another Ho-Chunk. Haley and I are Ho-Chunk, and it's like we've had 3 Ho-Chunks on this week. This is Ho-Chunk week here on Native Roots Radio. Yeah. Welcome, Destiny. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Hey, we want to dig deep on what you do here for our community and what's going on this summer and what's happening. So introduce yourself and let's get rolling here.
Yeah, cool. My name is Destiny Jones. I am the market manager and food sovereignty coordinator at Four Sisters. Four Sisters is a project of NACDI, so we're kind of under NACDI's general umbrella of things that it does. And what we focus on is reconnecting our relatives and our neighbors just to the natural world. So we run a urban farm as well as a farmer's market. And yeah, a lot of the goals are just indigenous food sovereignty, food access, and like the East Phillips and Ventura neighborhoods, and just kind of creating a space that makes people feel really comfortable getting to know a little bit more about their culture with food, and also like what food is good food and what good food is possible to make with the abundance of fresh produce and things that we can grow ourselves and buy at the market. So,
yeah, that's excellent. So the garden's fairly new, isn't it? And how did you get it, and where is it located?
Yeah, it's located on the, I believe it's 17th and 28th, the 2800 block of 17th Avenue, if I remember correctly. And it is a part of the like Hennepin County Railroad or something. It used to be a place that they left materials. And so when the railroad stopped being there, they decided to lease it, and NACDI was gracious enough to take a piece of it, and we've been building out the urban farm for a little while. We have some trees that we're growing that are all medicinal and native, and we also have some plots for people to try their hand at growing their own foods. And yeah, I believe it's been there for two years. This will be our second year.
Cool. And we're at the point here, and it's funny, we went through COVID, We went through all these things, and we need to know how to get back to Mother Earth, and we need to know how to grow our own food and prepare our own food. And so this is just a really, really, really good thing, and really timeless, I think, right on time.
I agree. I think that especially with the threat of climate change, there's, always a question of what food will look like in the future. And so it really, I feel like, empowers people to take it into their own hands. And a big part of what I think about when I think about food sovereignty is also just the community aspect of it. None of our ancestors did all of this alone. You gathered together, you grew together, you processed the food together, you ate together. And I think that that's something that is like very important to incorporate in how we look at food access and food sovereignty today.
Yeah, it is. And let's talk a little bit. When does market run? I know that's coming up soon. What are the dates?
The market starts June 1st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will be having the Pretendians perform, which is super exciting, and we'll be having a raffle for the day of, just to start us off in a kind of exciting way. And we have a ton of new vendors and lots of good food, and we're really excited. We also have a big event coming up at the Garden this Saturday, which will be our spring welcoming event. That'll be kind of like a block party. So everyone's welcome. There'll be some seedling giveaways, and there'll be like a ton of information about ways to get involved in the neighborhood, and also just enjoy yourself. There'll be tons of food from places like the Gatherings Cafe and Las Cuatro Milpas, the Mexican food place.
It's funny. I've been to quite a few things because it's Native American Heritage Month, and the cafe's been serving food at a lot of different places, and so they do a really good job, and they're delicious. So if you're in town, well, come on between 17th Avenue and 28th Avenue for the Garden. Is that where it's going to be?
Yes, I'm sorry.
On Saturday, right?
Yes, Saturday. I believe we will be starting officially at around 11, and it will go on until 3.
That's awesome. So what else do you do for Native American Community Development Institute? Because I was really happy to hear you were able to come on tonight, and I run into you. As a matter of fact, we marched. Which parade? I just saw you recently when we were talking the whole time. Which parade was that?
I think that was the Native American Month kickoff, maybe. It was like a parade, yeah, with the floats and everything. It was really fun. Yeah, we do, I feel like, a lot at NACDI, and it's one of those things where I have one role, and then I have a lot of other things that kind of fall under it. And so, yeah, previously I was their administrative, like operations and administrative coordinator, and then I was happy enough and like able to switch into their Four Sisters coordinating position. So yeah, I feel like NACDI is a great place to work, and that there's always like kind of something to do, and there's always a new opportunity to learn a new thing. So can't say enough good things about it.
Absolutely. And you guys are right in the middle of Indian country in Minneapolis on Franklin Avenue. Your office is right next to the powwow grounds and the great museum there. And you must run into a lot of people, because I know I come into your office and bug you guys.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the funniest things they told me right when I started. They're like, even if the door is locked, there's always going to be a way that you're like engaging with community. There's always going to be someone walking through the door and striking up a conversation. And they were like, are you like prepared for that? And I was like, I'm more than ready for that. That sounds so exciting. And it's been really great so far.
Yeah, it is fun, and it is fun to go there and see you guys. And I think Robert Lilligren, who's usually our guest on Thursday, runs a really progressive ship there. I mean, take care of yourself first. These things that that should be in everybody's workplace. It's amazing. And how do you feel about that? You've worked at other places too.
Yeah, I actually sought out NACDI. I was looking for a new job, and I was like, I came across NACDI, and I was like, I think this is perfect. And then getting the job, it was kind of one of those things where I kept waiting for the other, other boot to drop, kind of, where I was like, oh, something's going to happen. It's going to sour my idea of working here. Something's going to, I'm just going to realize that, I was looking at this with rose-colored lenses, and it's not happened so far. I've been with NACDI for almost a year, and it's just been really amazing. Robert's an amazing boss. He's very kind and passionate about his work, and everyone is such a rock star. It's something that I can't ever stop saying, is how great everyone I work with is and how hardworking, and just even being around someone like Jolene Jones, no relation, but she's such an amazing organizer, and she's such a cool presence to just have in the office, that I love the staff at NACDI, and I love the work that we do.
Yeah, you have a room full of doers for sure. Jolene's been on the show many times, and she doesn't play. She's an auntie, but she gets the job done. And above all, Jolene, especially knowing her a little bit, has a huge, huge, huge heart.
Yeah, I think that's something that's amazed me too, is the amount of care that goes into the work at NACDI, and how much people really do strive to connect with the community and just the environment, and make sure that everybody's being seen and heard and uplifted in any way that we can. So it's been really nice.
Definitely. And what's the future lie with you? You're pretty young, right? And you got a bright future ahead of you. And what do you think? You have a great spirit. You haven't been beat down yet by the man yet. You're doing great.
Yeah, against all odds, I'm still fighting the man. I think that, I don't know. Part of me is like, what if I became the man and I got into politics? But then I think that it's a bit ambitious. I think I'm just really content where I'm at right now, and I'm interested in seeing where the journey takes me.
Right. Just keep putting one step in front of the other, and next thing you know, you're going to be at a place where you have great choices. And that's what happened to me. I'm 62 years old, and I would have never guessed that I would be a representative of Ho-Chunk Nation. I would not be a radio host, or for that matter, I never thought I'd be a high school teacher either for 30 years. And I was one of those kids that would see the principal every once in a while, and go out the back door when people weren't looking. And next thing you know, I'm a high school teacher, hanging out with the kids and relating and loving my job. You just never know, Destiny.
Yeah, I think that that's also one of those things that's so amazing. It's that there's so many opportunities within just ourselves, and I don't know, playing things as they come along and figuring out what works best for you is just I think another part of it that I'm really excited for. And I'm glad that I kind of have the assistance of NACDI to lead me in a good path. So.
Hey, why don't we have you come back here, and we'll just talk a little bit more about the Four Sisters Market, and then we'll call it a show. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. When it comes to mental health, connections with others can be a way forward. How do you reach out when you need someone? What do you do to support those who struggle? Whether you're struggling or know someone who struggles, see connections as comfort, hope, and joy, like sending a text, sharing a moment, offering a hug, seeing an old friend, seeing your grandma. Together we can find ways to create a path forward. Visit cmentalhealth.org. Visit cmentalhealth.org. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be be and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Students at participating Twin Cities high schools can get a summer's worth of rides on buses and light rail for just $30 with a summer student pass. From June 1st through September 5th, students can get unlimited rides on buses and trains up to a $3.25 fare. For a list of participating schools and to purchase a pass, visit metrotransit.org/summer-student-pass. Again, that's metrotransit.org/summer-student-pass.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations. Good one.
Destiny, did you howl with us?
No, I got too shy.
I know. We'll have to do that next time you come on.
Yeah.
Looks like the wolf is stuck there. We'll fix that there, right? So, hey, we're with the Four Sisters market manager, Destiny Jones, Ho Chunk, and all three of us are Ho Chunk. So this has just been an awesome show. We had Ruth Buffalo on earlier. And Destiny, let's talk about well, before we talk about the dates, you know, where you work, you're like a stone's throw away from a beautiful art gallery too. That just amazes me that those three buildings are hooked together and right in Franklin Avenue in the Twin Cities here.
I love Four Sisters. And yeah, it's amazing to even like go into the office every day and to see the exhibit that's currently going, which is Pitwaywatam, is so beautiful. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to go see it yet, but it's just an amazing homage to the family's like relative who passed. And it's just like the most breathtaking work I've seen in a while. And I love being that close to Amra and being that close to Powwow Grounds and being able to share a building and collaborate on ideas. We actually are having a call for an artist right now in collaboration with Amra at the Four Sisters Farmers Market, which is for our farmers market artists in residence, who will be someone who helps facilitate a lot of the activities that will be going on throughout the season at the farmers market that promote things like nutrition, recipes, indigenous language learning, and things like that. So it's super exciting, and we just posted about it. So if anyone knows anyone that's interested, feel free to contact me. My name is Destiny Jones.
Right on. Hey, that's right on. And you know, the market for me is always fun because I'll come by there. Of course, I'll stop in and bother you guys in the office, and then I'll come out and you know, a lot of times there's you know, some fry bread pizza, things like that from the market, and then you have vendors there that, you know, are selling fresh vegetables and fruits. You also have vendors that are selling you know, candles, medicines, things like that. And it's just a really nice way, if you're around there, to hang out during your lunch or have a long lunch. It's just, and see some friends and support the Native community.
I completely agree. I think there's so much to do at the farmers market. We're trying to increase that as it goes along, and it is just a lovely place to stop by during your lunch break and just meet with community members and meet with your friends. One of our vendors actually has like new food on the menu, which is super exciting. And we'll be having new vendors that just haven't been able to be at the market before, which is super also exciting. So I think it's going to be a great season, and there's always going to be something to do. We'll be having musicians monthly, we'll have DJs, we'll be having a storytelling event in the middle of summer, and we'll just be having a ton of activities for people to get involved in. So don't be a stranger.
Right on. And those are Thursdays starting in June, correct? It's
Yep.
every Thursday.
Every Thursday from 11 to 3. We try to do rain or shine, but if the weather's too horrible, we will cancel.
Right. And sometimes, yeah, rarely you have, but you have. And I know you have another event too, again, and it's happening Saturday. And maybe you can tell our audience a little bit more about that too.
Yeah, that'll be our spring welcoming event. We are throwing it with our some of our collaborators over at Epic, and with some help from the Indigenous Food Network. The event is just to kind of celebrate the neighborhood, celebrate the coming of spring. There's also the Epic elections, which are happening in the day. So it's just something to kind of lead into Mother's Day weekend. I know that there's a powwow at Little Earth like after as well. So it should be like a full day of fun. And the event will be from 11 to 3 on the 2800 block of 17th Avenue in South Minneapolis. And it should be just great energy, great fun. Can't say more good things about how well I think the event's going to go.
Right on. And then again, the Four Sisters Farmers Market. I guess it's just called market now, not a farmers market. And that's every Thursday starting in June until the last week in October. Is that right?
Yep, until October 26th.
Wow. Awesome. Any last words before we let you go? I really appreciate you stepping in.
I got a
Robert.
quick question.
Oh, go ahead, Haley.
Destiny, did you say that you guys, what kind of food do you grow there? You said like medicinal like stuff too? Is that like lavender and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've planted some red willow. I believe we're growing like sweetgrass and tobaccos and I believe some sage. And it's kind of a split. There's two kind of plots, and one of them is mostly kind of for trees. And then there's a plot that's a bit more enclosed, and that plot has half of it devoted to community space for gardening. So we have a bunch of people just gardening whatever their heart desires, and then our farmer and my manager, Gloria, is in charge of choosing all of these great indigenous and also like medicinal plants to grow and mostly donate and give away. So it's really cool.
That's so amazing. I got to get out there. We got to get out there, Dega. Check it out soon.
Oh yeah, I try to make it out there on Thursdays. Thursday's a good time for me to or you're talking about Saturday too. Yeah, well, that's a good idea too. Now that we know about it and we've had Destiny on, any last words before we let you go? I just want to say it's always great to see a young Ho-Chunk woman do as well as you're doing, and the future always looks bright for our people, and you're a doer, and I really appreciate what you do, and also, being on Destiny.
Thank you. That's such kind words. My Gaga wouldn't have it any other way, so I'm glad to be making her proud, and I don't have much else to say. Thank you for having me on.
Right on. Thanks, Destiny Jones, the manager of the Four Sisters Market here in Minneapolis, Franklin Avenue, with a great update. And hopefully we'll see you again, Destiny. She shook her head,
so.
yes. Oh, there we go. Hey, have a great day. Wow. The really nice piece, and it's good to see young people stepping forward there. I'm just a happy Daga here, seeing the future here with our Ho-Chunk young ones.
Yeah, we're doing it. Gen Z, watch out.
That's right. Well, again, and I appreciate Gen Z, Haley, because they saved us in the last election, and they're going to be voting even more these next elections. So that's something me as kind of a political junkie really appreciates. And being a boomer, we're going to probably be in the next election the second most recognized voters, and the Gen Zs are going to take over, and that's a good thing because they're angry and they should be.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I appreciate what a show. I want to thank former state representative Ruth Buffalo for stopping in and really giving us some great updates with what's going on with Leonard Peltier and the little history of that, and also her work with a let me see what that's Not Invisible Act commission. So that's really huge. And thank you, Haley, for all your work, and thank Destiny for Jones for stopping in. And you've been listening to Native Roots Radio. If you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plentycoup's. The ground on which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office. We're still here. We are the 7th generation. Free Leonard Peltier now.
Escape